We are moments away from the green flag on JRTV's presentation of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series 2000 Mall.com 400 at the Texas World Speedway. Always one of the craziest racetracks these Winston Cup Series drivers go to on the schedule in this 30-race season. And this season, it's going to be no different. Cloud cover has produced a lot of grip this weekend for these drivers on this racetrack. Today, cloud-covered skies once again can produce a lot of grip, which means fast speeds. We're going to be seeing speeds at the end of these straightaways over 200 miles an hour, even over 205 miles an hour when they have drafting help. They'll be close to 210 miles an hour because while this is a long, high-banked racetrack, there are no restrictor plates like we see at Daytona or Talladega, which means that these engines are making out the full power that they can, which means fast speeds. Just be like if you unrestricted a car at Daytona or Talladega, let them run out there. They'd be going over 210 miles an hour there. So just like a mini version of that, just unrestricted, which is why these drivers love it so much. They can do a lot in the draft. Even though it is unrestricted, the draft still comes into play here at Texas World. We saw that throughout practice, where some drivers who practiced really, really well didn't qualify well, and that's mainly due because in practice there was draft, and qualifying it's single car runs, there's no draft. So someone who's fast in practice doesn't mean anything about how they're going to qualify, and we saw that so far here at Texas World. So as we mentioned, cloudy day here in College Station, Texas. Highs in the mid-70s, around 75 degrees right now at race start. This is the biggest chance of rain we've had so far this season. However, we are expecting for conditions to stay clear and dry for the full 40 laps. A little bit about this track as well. 2 miles in length, as we all know, in College Station, Texas. 22 degrees of banking in the corners. The front straightaway banked by 12 degrees, and the back stretch banked by 5 degrees. Compare that to Las Vegas last race, where it was 12 degrees in the corners, and Homestead, where it was 6 degrees in the corners. And I mean, that's a big difference. I mean, the front stretch is banked the same amount as Las Vegas, and the back stretch, which has basically no banking to it, is only 1 degree less than what we saw in the corners at Homestead. So this is a high banked oval, which leads to those fast speeds. Previous 5 winners here. Trey Bartles won 2 of the last 5 at this racetrack. He starts third in this race. Also, Trey Rainey, Nat Wagner, and Marcus Sanchez have gone to victory lane in the past 5 races. It's a 40-lap race, 80 miles around. The field window, anywhere from about 22 to 26 laps, give or take a few laps. And with this race being 40 laps long, that is just after the midway point of this race when these drivers will be coming down the pit lane. So watch for that to see when drivers pit. The tire wear, very, very crucial here at Texas World with how fast these drivers are going. Tire wear comes into a major play. These times will fall off over a second at the end of the fuel window, which means pitting sooner is definitely going to be a major benefit, especially if you can get out of the draft with a few drivers. If you get 3 or 4 of you guys and you get away from the draft, then possibly it could just be between 3 or 4 drivers, because most of the time you make up here is in the draft, and that is where some of these smaller teams that are starting well are going to be looking to try and keep it in that draft. Look at Evan Hunter starting in 2nd. He's going to try and just keep it in the draft. Yepes starting in 12th. Some other smaller teams at the front of the field like Mitch Corbett just outside the top 20. They're going to try and use that draft to keep their cars in the run for possibly a top 5, top 10, maybe even a win at the end of the day. You never know what might happen here at the Texas World Speedway. We've seen a lot over the past in terms of craziness. This one going to be very crazy as well, but kind of the common theme so far this season, RCR fast, both their cars starting top 3. Hendrick Motorsports had all 3 of their cars qualified inside the top 10, but Brett Sierra failing inspection after qualifying for the 2nd time already this season. Sierra drops back to 42nd, and now the Hendrick cars start in 5th, 8th, and obviously 42nd. So we'll see what Sierra can do coming through the field, what some of the other big names back there, like Chris Jericho starts around 30th place. What can he do to try and get up through there? Eli Bright starts 40th. He's at the back of the field. What can the Team Stabco cars of Anderson Reed and Caden Lynn do to try and get through the field? Mitchell Collins starts not that well. Nathan Stapleton as well. So we'll see what these drivers towards the back of the field that have fast race cars can do to try and get through the field here at Texas World. Moments away from the green flag, and the starting command to fire the engines up is next on JRTV.
Drivers, start your engines!
There you can see all cars are rolling here in College Station, Texas to do battle at the Texas World Speedway. It's race number 6 on the JRTV NASCAR Winston Cup Series season. And look at the driver starting in second for NB2 Motorsports. Evan Hunter puts that car on the front row, just 7/1,000 shy of Conrad Evans for pole position. What a run it was for this underdog team. Can they keep it at the front using the draft? That's what Hunter's game plan is. After qualifying, he said, if I can stay in this draft, we can stay up at the front and try and win this race. Hunter gonna try and stay up at the front along the names of Evans and Bardo and Zidell, drivers who have done very, very well this season. Hunter looks to maintain towards the front of the field. Look at the driver starting in third, Trey Bardo. So much success, got a win in his final season, last race at Las Vegas. But look at his stats at the Texas World Speedway. He's won 2 of the last 5. He's won 4 in his entire career here at Texas World. It's one of his favorite racetracks. He's looking to get to victory lane for the 5th time in his career at Texas World. All the way to the back of the field in 42nd. That's where you'll find Brett Sierra. He qualified 6th, but for the 2nd time this season, failed post-qualifying inspection. He'll start at the back of the field on the last row. In this new paint scheme, what can he do to find his way through the field and try and gain some points? As he was making his way up nicely in points, he's got to try and battle back after this misfortune. Pace car to pit road. It's RCR's Conrad Evans and MB2's Evan Hunter on the front row for the Mall.com 400. Evans is on the gas, the green flag's in the air. Let's go racing at College Station, Texas. Already seen them fan out 3 wide down the back straightaway. Trey Bardo gets lead from his teammate Conrad Evans. He wants to lead the first lap in his final Texas World race. They come off 4 for the first time today. Trey Bardo, his final race at this racetrack. He'll lead the first lap of the Mall.com 400. Zidell up to second, looking to get the points lead from his teammate Keegan Thompson. And behind them, it is a mess of cars in turn 1. And Thompson is in the middle of it, 4 wide with Clifton and Ray and Richardson. They all try and sort out through 1 and 2. Yeah, that's not good. Oh, Hunter's in the wall. The 36, he got really high, got into the wall. Ray's making contact with Mitchell Collins down the backstretch. Trying to sort it. So far they do. Hunter, though, middle of the pack has been slowed because the 36 got into the wall. That's a tough break for the driver who started second in this Texas World race. See all these cars back here. They're trying to get through like Caden Lynn and Hagita. Yepez is also falling back after starting well. Ryan Wilson's trying to make his way up. Chris Jericho. There's Brett Sierra, Anthony Nez, and Brandon Beal trying to make their way through the field. Go back up towards the front. They're still pack racing 3 wide. And still at the front, it's Bardo and Zidell 1-2. Evans for third on Strickland as they race up the backstretch again. 2 laps complete. Bardo's led both of them. Here comes Matthew Burnett, the highest Roush racing car in points. Burnett looking low for a top 5 spot. He'll get it from Mathis Wells in the number 20. So they battle off 4. Wells has a nice run using that draft, so he'll take it to the inside. Burnett. Jokins Racing has really found some strength as of late. Once they put both their cars on the front row at Homestead, that's when they were like, it clicked, and they went, we have something for them. In the past few races, they've shown some great pace. Jared Dobbs winning at Homestead, finishing inside the top 3 at Las Vegas, and Wells looking to continue that trend. Jericho didn't have a great qualifying result. Wells qualified inside the top 10, and so far running inside the top 10 as well. Battle for second, Strickland to the inside of Zidell as the 24 is not able to really get to the 3 and do anything with them. Strickland's going, let me try and do something, but the third one pushing the 24 might actually get Zidell clear right here to turn 1. Yeah, that's got to be frustrating if you're Strickland. You had the run to get past Zidell, and then, you know, the guy that was behind you kind of banned you to go with the other Chevy car. So if you're Strickland, you want to clear right here down the backstretch, which he's going to do. Pull up in front of Zidell. Now try and get that 24 clear the 16 so you two can try and go run down the 3 car. And we'll now see if Strickland has anything for Trey Bardo, as Zidell wasn't able to do much, but Strickland looks like he's really latching on well to the 3 car. As they race off 4. Strickland in the draft of the 3, getting a nice run up to him. As they'll race off to turn 1. Zidell might leave Strickland, though, with that move right there. So he's going to put the 33 aside. And, I mean, if I'm Zidell, I would have tried to stay with that 33 because it was a nice run going up there. And they had made some nice progress. Speaking of progress, Penske's cars are moving forward. Mitchell Collins did not start well. Collins now up inside the top 10, just behind Keegan Thompson. There's Riley Spurgeon as well, just behind them. You have Sebastian Kukulon and down to the inside. Hagita's trying to get some spots in the 77. Good run for Sergio Hagita for Jasper Racing, who has not had a good start to the season, but we're going to try and battle up inside the top 10 here at Texas. We're just front of Laura Chung as well, just outside the top 10. Currently inside the top dozen. And for the lead, the first battle Bartles had all race long. It's Lathan Strickland looking low in the 3 car. Can he stay beside him and get the side draft down the back straightaway? I don't think he's going to be able to. Bartle got a nice run off turn 2 using that middle lane. Bartle's going to keep the lead for now, but Strickland has shown that he has a fast race car. Roger Ray up for third in the 55. That's Strickland's teammate moving to the front. Oh, we have a car slow. There might be a yellow. There is. Brandon Beal spun off. Brian Wilson and some others as well involved. So the yellow is out here at Texas World just before the lap 10 point. Brandon Beal spun off. Bartles led every lap so far from third starting spot. The 2 cars behind him are from Andy Peter Racing. That is Strickland and Ray. So this is an interesting point in the race now. We've completed 7 laps, about to be 8 at the start finish. I'm going to go green with under 30 to go. The fuel window, as I'd mentioned at the start of the race, about 22 to 26 laps. What do you do here? We saw at Homestead there was that strategy of you pit, you get 4, and then late in the race you take 2, but we also saw some people take 4 there and make it work. So right here, do you pit, take 4, and then try and go as long as you can that second run? It looks like some drivers are thinking to do that, and some are thinking not to. Bartle looks like wants to keep track position. He's going to stay out on the racetrack. Strickland's going to come down from second, but this is going to be a mixed bag on pit road. So you have some drivers pitting, some drivers staying out. Strickland from second will pit. Evans from fourth. Wells from sixth, but it is a mixed bag on pit road. See Spurley 2 coming in as well, so we'll just have to see. Spurley 2 and Haas come in, so right now we've seen 5, 6 as Hunter comes in. Yepez is the 7th, 8, 9, 10. So only 10 cars make the trip to pit road. They'll give up track position for sure. We'll just have to see. I mean, we'll have to see how this strategy works out for them. Obviously, they thought it was worthwhile. It looks like they took fuel only. Looks like that might just be splash and goes for these drivers. So Strickland the first off the pit lane, but he is one of only a few to pit. It's Trey Bartle leading this race, but let's go see what happened to Brandon Beal, maybe some others, as it was a crash off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Through 1 and 2, this was just outside the top 20 or so. Brandon Beal up the racetrack in the 94. Evan Hunter coming up behind him. Hunter misjudges a little bit right there. Barely clips Beal, which gets him down to Reed in the 40. Then Beal back up to the wall trying to control it, and then back down right into the path of the 44 of Ryan Wilson. Spinning Brandon Beal around. Wilson hits off him again, and now the 94 takes a spin down to the inside. Wilson through the grass. The 94 will go through the grass. That is the reason for the first caution flag here in the Mall.com 400. A pretty simple incident towards the back of the field here at Texas World, but it is enough to trigger a yellow flag and a tough break for Brandon Beal, who had made his way up nicely from starting in the 41st position, qualifying 42nd on speed, and Evan Hunter, who started second, was back there with him and just misjudged the gap up behind him. Look at it right here, full speed, just how quickly this happens, right up into him and really nowhere to go. So tough break for Brandon Beal, Ryan Wilson. They're the 2 cars that got the worst end of this. However, I think that those cars should be decent to go. Just put 4 tires on, try and get going. We'll see if Beal and Wilson can do on this restart. So the field pacing under the yellow. The first caution is out here in the Mall.com 400 at the Texas World Speedway. It's a mixed pit strategy. About 10 cars coming to pit road, leaving about 30 out there that stayed out. They'll be going to about halfway on this tank. The rest of the drivers can go to about 10 to go. We'll see how the strategy plays out here at Texas World. Trey Bartle looking for his 5th win. He's led every lap so far. He leads at Texas World. Coming back green here in the Mall.com 400 at the Texas World Speedway. All 42 drivers are still left running, but the big talk is the mixed pit strategies. These drivers are going to restart with under 30 to go, so it's going to be 29 to go at the line. The drivers that came in did fuel only on their stops. Maybe some drivers like Beal did 4 tires to try and get tires on that car after the spin, but otherwise it was fuel only for many of the drivers that pitted there. We'll see how it works out for them. Right now, the top 32 did not pit. 33rd on down, led by Lathan Strickland, Mathis Wells, Conrad Evans, and Riley Spritz, allow Jack Haas, Evan Hunter, Yepez Stanworth Jr., and Davis and Beal. They all came into pit road for service and fuel. We'll see how long they can go on that tank and what the possible strategy call could be for those drivers, as now they lost a bunch of track position with 32 cars staying out on the racetrack. But, I mean, Haas knows what he's doing strategy. We saw last race, so we'll see how it plays out for the teams that did that. At the front, it's Trey Bardo, along with Roger Ray, then Justin Zidell, Mitchell Collins, and Matthew Burnett. That's the front five. There's our points there: Keegan Thompson, Laura Chung, Jordan Stout, Sebastian Kukulan, and Keyshawn Richardson. Jacob Boyd not that far back, and look at all these underdogs towards the top 15. We're back green at Texas World, and a nice jump for Roger Ray in second. He peaks already, and Trey Bardo to turn one. Nice restart for the 55. The first battle Bardo's had all race long. It's from another Andy Petrie car. Lathan Strickland tried to challenge him, but Ray's going to be able to do it off two. Roger Ray takes the Mall.com 400. Andy Petrie Racing has looked good so far this season. Brought fast cars again. Ray leads through 3 and 4. Mitchell Collins up to second after bad qualifying results. Bardo clear in third with a nice push from Zidell. He'll now look to try to get the drafting slingshot to the inside of the 12 of Collins as Ray leads a lap in the 55. Remember, you lead a lap, that's 5 bonus points, so big there for Roger Ray in terms of the championship, or I guess points positions. The first 2 in points battle for fourth. Zidell wants the points lead. Thompson currently has it. Fights to the inside of his teammate, just 2 cars behind on the inside. How about Hagita, and how about right behind him, Noah Clifton? 2 drivers you'd not expect to see running that well, but here they are running towards the front of the field, but Keyshawn Richardson in front had to check up, and it checks up the whole inside lane as Trey Bardo clears for second on Mitchell Collins, trying to get back up to Roger Ray as Bardo's led the most laps so far today. All but 2 of the laps have been his. Looking 3-4 wide to the corner, that was Richardson pulling out on teammate Matthew Burnett. Going with Richardson, that is the 77 Sergio Hagita. How about through the middle? The 21 Jacob Boyd making some big moves. Boyd trying to get up to the front. How about just at the back of this, Brett Sierra started 42nd, failed post-qualifying inspection. Sierra up inside the top 15. We're not even halfway through the race, so Sierra definitely driving with some aggressiveness in that 25 car. He wants to get to the front as quick as he can. Thompson up to third, as it's 3 fast Chevys of Roger Ray, Trey Bardo, and Keegan Thompson leading the way. Ray leads Bardo to turn 1. Bardo in the tire tracks, but getting closer. On corner exit, right up to the back of the 55. We'll see what Bardo can do with the run. You can see from the back stretch, Keegan Thompson's actually going to take the run he has to the inside Trey Bardo. Thompson for second. Bardo going to keep it with the run on the outside. Now to the outside of Thompson comes Collins. Behind them, Zidell clears on the outside. He'll get down from Keyshawn Richardson, who's trying to clear Jacob Boyd on the inside, as Thompson cannot hang on to third with that move. Collins gets through the third on the outside. Now with that, Mitchell Collins made the outside work in the 12 car to make a pass work. And move it forward up to P3. Zidell in line in 5th. Keyshawn Richardson getting a nice boost from Jacob Boyd. There's the other Hendrick car, Brett Sierra, now up inside the top 10 and going for 9th and even further up. Kukulan and Stapleton coming with Roush Racing. Same with Colin Teague, their teammate. Eli Bright coming from the back of the field. Started 40th in this race. He's moving forward. Jay Rando started inside the top 10. Rando trying to make moves to get back up inside the top 10 as Sierra moves to 9th, and at the front still battling for 3rd. It is Thompson and Collins not letting that battle go away. See how hard it has been to kind of make these passes work here. These drivers on the inside really getting bogged down. I have to wonder if there's just so much grip that's actually helping the outside line work better than the inside. You have to wonder if that's maybe it. Maybe that outside just more prevalent with all this extra grip because of how cloudy it is. But how about Jacob Boyd up inside the top 5 going 3 wide for 3rd here? With all this moving, he's bringing Brett Sierra with him. Sierra's going to go to the middle now in the 25. As Bardo hunts on Roger Ray for the lead. Has a nice run going to him. Off turn 2. He'll get to the inside on corner exit, but can he hold it down there? No, he'll have to get back in line. Thompson trying to clear for 3rd. Rayer desperately trying to get down, but can't. Collins is still down there. Boyd still holding it strong inside the top 5 of that Wood Brothers Racing entry. And here comes Sear with a nice run to the inside the 25 as they'll get clogged up in front of him. That was a big checkup for Mitchell Collins trying to get to 3rd, and looking around the outside, Keyshawn Richardson might get to 4th here. Using that outside lane in the 99. Can he clear the 12? I think he's going to have it right here, right there through 1 and 2. Collins still fighting, trying to get the side draft. And he does get there. Here comes Sierra. Started 42nd, 3 wide to the bottom. And Richardson all but clear into turn 3. Sierra for fourth, started 42nd in this race. Sierra's going to get by the 12, and I think the 99 as well. Move Brett Sierra to fourth place in the 25 car at the line. Bell for second. Thompson's won 2 races already this season. Looking to make it 3 for 6 as he's low on Bardo. Halfway this time behind the Mall.com 400 at Texas World. I think Thompson might have that spot, but the 55 also giving the draft to the 3. Thompson's really going to have to work that side draft well. Did a nice job staying beside him, but can he get by in turns 3 and 4? Bardo doesn't run him tight. Thompson will get back into the gas, and Keegan Thompson, I think, has second clear. There he goes, so now Thompson up to second, the point sitter with a good car. Zeidel's falling back, and Jacob Boyd to fourth. Bardo with the cross-under run to the inside. Trey Bardo's not going to give him second up, but all this fooling around for a second is allowed Ray to get away. But now the question is, pit stops are looming ahead for these drivers. We're nearing the window of pit road, and once that happens, you have to expect to see drivers like the 33 and the 20, and all of them that came down pit road, they'd have to stay out again a little bit longer, like Strickland in 26th and Sproul in 28th. Wells in 29th and Evans in 22nd. They definitely have to stay out, right? Yeah, just trying to stay out longer. Maybe hope you can lap these guys and get a yellow. As Jacob Boyd moves to third in the 21 car. He caught by Keegan Thompson, who has a run up to the 21. Again, Sierra's fighting for fifth with Sebastian Kukul on. And behind that, here comes Jordan Stout. Hagita's back up inside the top 10. Stapleton trying to pass teammate Burnett. Collins trying to come back. Colin Teague as well as the field kind of scatters around. How about this move for a second? Jacob Boyd's looking on Trey Bardo. Look at Sierra going on his teammate Keegan Thompson. How about Jacob Boyd? Wood Brothers racing a P2. That's amazing. Boyd to second. Can he run Roger Ray down? It's going to be a long shot, but we've seen crazier things happen on JR TV here in the Winston Cup Series. There he goes. I mean, he has a run going to turn 1. If he can make this pass work, Ray goes way up the track. How about Jacob Boyd? Get to the front. Jacob Boyd leads for Wood Brothers Racing at Texas World. Sierra from the back of the pack to second place. The pit stops are looming. I know they had a lap or two, or a few laps of yellow to try and save a lap or two of fuel, so maybe they pit around lap 25 or so, but they're going to go a little bit longer than expected. But Jacob Boyd leads his first lap of the day. That is amazing for Wood Brothers Racing. They have to love what they're seeing right now. Sierra's right now in second. Ray is right now in third. The battle is for fourth. Bardo and Thompson, who were holding the top few positions, are now back battling for fourth and fifth. Jordan Stout right behind them in sixth. These front two, I don't think anyone expected them to be the front two approaching pit stops. So here we go. Some of the field might be pitting as some drivers went wider. Looks like, though, most of the field is staying on the racetrack, if not everyone. So at the moment, everyone's staying. Oh, we have the 1 and the 60 come down from the back along with the 7. That might be a good play to short pit now and just try and get that track position from drivers who may have passed. As Jay Randall's falling off the pace. I don't know if he pitted already or, I mean, he's a lap down, so he and the 40 might have already pitted, actually. They may have come in a lap earlier. We're catching Brandon Beal, who is also slower and off the pace because of damage. This time I think Boyd's going to be pitting. He will. You can see that you have to enter in turn 3. Look at Thompson. He's been aggressive. He actually passes the 21 on entry. I don't know how officials are going to like that, but he was able to pass the 21 on entry. So Thompson's going to lead these drivers into pit road. That gives the lead to Brett Sierra. He'll get 5 bonus points for leading that lap. So Sierra stays out. There's Conrad Evans. He's kind of mid-pack right now with that strategy he played. Currently, Trey Bartles also stayed out on the racetrack with Sierra. Stapleton has also stayed out, along with Zeidel and Luke Rainey. Evans might be staying out a few laps longer, along with Strickland and Sprotum and Wells. They might be trying to stay out and hope for a yellow. Here comes Sierra and the others into pit road. Now Evans having to run wide actually kept Luke. Oh, Luke's going to pit really late there in the 2 car. Actually gained some spots, I think, doing that. He's just going to come in right behind Trey Bardo. So now the strategy is starting to play out as Bardo almost ran into Brett Sierra, who has the #1 pit stall. But now with all the strategy playing out, Conrad Evans, Lathan Strickland, Riley Sprotu, Mathis Wells, along with Yepez and Haas and Hunter and Stanworth, they've all stayed out. Those 8 cars have all stayed out on the racetrack. As once again, they came down under the first yellow, taking fuel only. They want to extend it out by a lap or so longer to try and hope that maybe they get a yellow and they could try and, I guess, just try and trap these guys a lap down if they get a yellow flag. So At the moment, these guys are praying that a yellow comes out because they have a lot of the field trapped a lap down. Just be these 8 or so cars that are still in the lead lap. So you can see they fly by the rest. There's Trey Bardo. He's the first one off the pit lane of those drivers, but where's the drivers that came in sooner than Bardo? As the 3's getting up to speed, there he goes. So far, no one really near him. There's Zidell with his teammate Sierra, Luke, Rennie, Nathan Stipton. There's Jacob Boyd. Look all the time he lost on pit road. So pitting sooner did not work out for Jacob Boyd. And where did Keegan Thompson go in all this? The 5 team did not have a good stop. He's back with Roger Ray. They're going to be back around 10th or so. As Chris Jericho jumped them. Jericho was running around 20th, I think, when that all happened. So now these drivers are in. Did all of them pit? I think some still stayed out. Haas came in a lap prior. Spurgeon and Evans are still staying out there, praying that something happens. A yellow can come out and they can get this track position, trap people lap down. Because currently there's only 10 cars on the lead lap. But Conrad Evans, the pole here, desperately is going to have to come in for fuel, and maybe it'd be just a slower or a faster pit stop. Maybe just take 2 and just enough fuel to make it. Evans still staying out though along with Spurgeon, so they're going to stretch this out as long as possible. Bartle's going to be 3rd, it looks like, when it cycles around. Unless these drivers, unless they come out fast enough with how short their pit stops were, maybe this is a strategy. Maybe if the pit stops are short enough, they can try and come out with the 3 in them. Not to see where Strickland and them come off pit road. It's a very tricky apron, very tricky to get up to speed, but you can see right there, I think they might be able to gain some time. We'll just have to see. As Bardo does fly around, there's Boyd will come in with Sierra and Zidell. So Strickland, I think, is going to gain for sure. How much did he gain is the question. There's Wells. Fall back. Yeah, so I guess they did gain some time on it for sure. It might not be a race-winning move, but they definitely gained time and track position. As still, with 10 to go, Evans and Spurgeon were out there desperately praying a yellow comes out. There's only 4 cars on the lead lap. Brandon Beal, Walker Davis are also out there on the same strategy. Beal right now in 4th on the tail end of the lead lap, and Walker Davis is about 15, 16 seconds off the pace in 3rd. I think Evans might be pitting now, though. That 31 looks slow into 3 and 4, and there he goes. So he stretched out as long as he could. Now the question is, what do you do on pit road? Do you maybe just do fuel only if you're the 3rd on the 20? You stayed out this long. Do you just take that gamble maybe? As you can see with the draft, Sierra's close in on Trey Bardo. So the 3 is not out of the woods yet. He'll unlap himself right there. But now here comes Brett Sierra to the inside. Sierra for the lead in turns 1 and 2. He got it. Sierra clears Bardo. He leads now at Texas World. These 4 are broken away. What can the drivers bound for 5th do? That's Thompson and Ray. Can they try and get up here and join the front 4? Zidell for 2nd now on Bardo. Yeah, that 24, if he battles the 3 hard enough, it can help his teammate Sierra. But Bardo gets a nice run through the middle and clears for 2nd. There's the 3rd one, the 28th. They're leaving now. These guys are coming too fast. I think they're going to easily get by them. 8 to go. So Evans did lead that lap. It was actually 9 to go, 8 to go at the line. Here comes Sierra round 1 and 2. Brett Sierra from last on the starting grid will take the race lead at Texas World. Zidell for 2nd on Bardo. Where do the 28 and the 31 merge? Yeah, that strategy of staying out even longer did not work out. If I were them, I would have pitted when most of their other compadres pitted. See right there where they came out, it's not good. So now as the scoring board will cycle around, we have a few cars under a blanket. 2 have broken away because of Brandon Beal. He's held up Trey Bardo. Jacob Boyd. Thompson is there to make it a Hendrick 1, 2, 3. And now the cars with the most laps, Trey Bardo, is back of this pack in 6th and might lose the draft. Yeah, that's unfortunate for Bardo. Got caught behind Brandon Beal, but good for Hendrick Motorsports. They're 1, 2, 3 with Sierra leading from last. Zidell and Thompson bound for the points lead. They're right now 2nd and 3rd. Neither have led a lap today, so Thompson going to be aggressive with Zidell, obviously, trying to get their lead lap and win this race and keep that points lead. Roger Ray trying to break up the Hendrick stranglehold of the front 3 spots. 7 laps to go for Brett Sierra. How about Roger Ray? Was leading past Trey Bardo, who we know has a really strong car, so we know Ray has a strong car, and by himself, Thompson's giving drive to his teammate Sierra, but by himself, Ray's got beneath Sierra for the lead at Texas World. The Mall.com 400 once again belongs to Roger Ray. So that 55 is strong, we know that for sure, but look at Thompson through the middle, Zidell through the inside, Sierra's fading back, here comes Boyd, here comes Bardo. 6 to go. Now Thompson's clear in second, trying to use the draft off the 55. Beal's losing touch with the front 6. Remember, he is a lap car. He is damaged. Wells in 7th trying to get around him. Right now, it's only 6 cars for the win. This battle for a top 10, though, that's going to be interesting. This is right now 8th, 9th, and 10th, and 11th and 12th. Right now, Hernandez is 8th. Collins is 9th. Jericho is 10th. Look at Eli, Brent, and Hagita. They're battling there. There's Luke Rennie and Jordan Stout. Strickland's here, so I mean, we have some underdogs towards the front, like the 77, the 1, the 8. Also, the 21 up at the front. Don't count him out, but right now, 2 cars broken away. 5 to go. Thompson for the lead. The points leader wants to lead this race in the final 5 laps. He hasn't led a lap today. We made this the first time he can get it done. He's going to be side by side with Ray down the backstretch. It's going to be all about side drafting here. Ray got a nice run, but it is stalled by the 5 car. Sierra on Zidell. If I was Sierra, I would have tried to stay with the 24. That would have been a massive run up onto these front 2 if they stayed single file, because these front 2 are not done battling quite yet. Ray's getting a nice run off 4, but Keegan Thompson cleaning his first lap of the day with only 4 laps to go. Now what can Roger Ray do to regroup? Can Sierra, Zidell, Bardo, and Boyd catch? How about Wells? They're catching up to Boyd and Bardo as Thompson leads the race. He'll clear Ray, who will now try and regroup and get back up to the 5 car. He has a run to 3, but is that going to be too shallow of an entry? It's going to be an aggressive fight. Ray wanted that bomb so bad, he took it to the inside. He's going to be able to maintain underneath the 5. They're again side by side, come to 3 to go. And Roger Ray with the advantage. He'll lead the line. 3 laps to go at Texas World. Collins will get by Jacob Boyd for 6th. Does he have a shot at this? Roger Ray through 1 and 2. He'll clear the 5 again and lead. What can Zidell and Sierra do? They're still side by side for 3rd. That's only hurting them. Still 2 cars for the race lead and the win. As Ray and Thompson have gotten away, Collins is flying, but up to 5th. Does he have enough time coming to 2 to go? Roger Ray. His teammate Lathan Strickland won the other 2-mile track we went to, California, race number 2. Can Ray make it 2 for 2 on the 2-mile tracks for Andy Peacher Racing? 2 laps to go. Ray versus Thompson for the win. With how it's running so far, Keegan Thompson's going to keep the points lead. And they keep battling for 3rd, only slowing themselves down. Collins looking 3 wide, but that means it's a 2-car race for the win. It's Roger Ray versus Keegan Thompson. Thompson with a dive into turn 3 late. Ray gave him space, but it kept the 5 kind of tightened up. Ray might be able to get the run off the top right here. We'll have to see. Side by side, white flag, last lap in the Ball.com 400. Thompson's won 2 races, looking to make it 3 for 6. Ray looking for his first Winston Cup Series win. Thompson trying to clear the 55 off turn 2. He can't. Ray pulls even. Collins in 3rd, winning in case the front 2 make contact. Down the backstretch into 3 for the final time. Keegan Thompson trying to get it done. Ray back in the gas, trying to get the run off 4, but he runs out of time. Checker flag is up his 3rd win in 6 races. Keegan Thompson extends the points lead here in Texas World. That's a gutsy drive for Keegan Thompson. That is a gutsy drive for Keegan Thompson. He did not lead until the final 5 laps, and he wins this race. His 3rd win of the season in just 6 races. Keegan Thompson, Hendrick Motorsports fight back and say, we're not done yet. We're still the team to beat, and they're showing why. Thompson wins again in the 2000 Winston Cup Series season, but you also have to give a nod to Roger Ray, who led a lot of laps today. Mitchell Collins, who came from nowhere to get inside the top 3 at the end, almost won the thing if it were just a few laps longer. So what a drive it was for Mitchell Collins there at the end. As we go and look at the finish results, obviously Keegan Thompson wins this race, never leading until the 5 laps, but he got it done in the 5 car. Roger Ray must be very heartbroken with the result, ends up in 2nd place, but still a really good points result. He's had some momentum on his side as of late, and it shows again. 3rd place goes to Mitchell Collins. If there was 1 or 2 more laps, maybe he would have been the winner, because, my goodness, He was coming alive at the end. Just to say, man, that car were absolutely superb on the pit stop. Zidell ends up in 4th, and Sierra ends up in 5th. So for Sierra, failed inspection after qualifying, but gets back up to 5th after starting 42nd. Ends out with Hendrick Motorsports, 3 cars inside the top 5. Amazing drive for them. And how about DI? Both of their cars finished inside the top 10. Eli, Bright, and Hernandez did not qualify well at all, but Bright gets 6th, Hernandez 7th. Those 2 DI cars are stout today. Burnett keeps up with Roush Racing's consistency. He ends up in 8th. Trey Bartle led early on. That car is never right after he got stuck behind Brandon Beal. Bartle ends up in 9th, and Matheus Wells ends out inside the top 10, right around where he started in the 20 car. Give a tip of the cap to Sergio Higuita, who finished within 2 seconds of the race winner. Higuita ends up in 11th. What a drive it was for the 77 team. Jacob Boyd 13th. Led some laps there, but that car definitely faded after the pit stops. Chris Jericho 14th. Nothing too special there. Diego Yepes ends up in 16th. Good run for him. Conrad Evans, who started on pole, 17th after some strategy play did not go his way. Mills a good result in 18th. Caden Lynn from the back of the field in 19th. And how about Nathan Baird for single car Joe Bessie Racing, 20th place. Not too bad for him. Strickland, the strategy didn't work for him, 21st place. You look at some of these big names down here, like Colin Teague, 23rd, Jordan Stout, 25th, Stapleton, 26th, Keyshawn Richardson, 28th, Riley Spurgeon, 29th. There were some big names down towards the bottom. Anderson Reed, 31st. Noah Clifton is up at the front for a lot of the race, 33rd for him, though. Evan Hunter started 2nd, back to 34th. That car, after hitting the wall, did not handle well, obviously, and every car did finish running, but Brandon Beal finished a lap off the pace in 42nd, just in front of Ryan Wilson, who was involved in that crash as well. Lord Schoen didn't have a good day along with Walker Davis. They all finished pretty far off of the pace as well towards the back. So what a crazy race it was here at Texas World. I mean, at first it looked like Trey Bartle was going to have the car to beat, when then it looked like Roger Ray, then maybe Jacob Boyd, then maybe someone like Brett Sierra, Justin Zidell, then maybe Roger Ray again, then Keegan Thompson, then Ray, then Thompson, and ends up with Keegan Thompson in victory lane for his 3rd win of the season. That 5 team definitely firing on all cylinders here so far earlier in the season, and 6 races in, and they have to be very, very pleased with how their season has gone so far. 3 wins in the first 6, extending that points lead over his teammate Zidell. They'll definitely take that for sure. In fact, Hendrick Motorsports as a whole has to be pleased. Sierra obviously had his issues early on this season, but the past few races have been amazing for the 25 team, and they're definitely gaining on it in points, and I think after today they should definitely be easily up into the top 20 in points with another top 5 result for that 25 team so far this season. So next race out, we're going to our first road course race of the season. We head out once again to California, this time at the Riverside International for some left and right turn racing. That's going to be a fun one, a staple of the Winston Cup Series. The Riverside Road Course is always a fun one to watch, and we'll have to see how these drivers navigate it. For a lot of them, it's going to be their first time at the racetrack, so watch for that. We're going to see how they handle the twists and turns out in Riverside. And after that, it's Easter break for the drivers. So after this long kind of stretch of West Coast races, or obviously Texas isn't out on the West Coast, but it is out west. After these races that are out west, kind of a swing of them like Vegas, and then obviously here to Texas World, and then to Riverside, they get some time off to go spend with their family for Easter, and then we're back after that one. So once again, congratulations to Keegan Thompson on winning the Mall.com 400 at the Texas World Super Speedway. Thanks everyone for watching JR TV's coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series 2000 Mall.com 400 at Texas World. We'll see you guys next week for racing out in Riverside, the Budweiser 400.